This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
What is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, the K-Gun Report. I'm here on this beautiful Tuesday night to talk about that Thanksgiving win, to talk about that bag of milk-led Patriots team that we're coming up against them in just 2 nights. I'm going to talk about our 24/7 Fantasy League real quick. I've been seeing some chatter in the comments about that. We got some Von Miller news. We're going to go into Trey, a little OBJ sightings and all sorts of rumors and things like that. You know, let's play this intro and we're going to talk all about it, of course. What is up, guys? Before we get too far, our dearly missing father of a small village, Mr. Jarrod Reed, pointed out that I'm wearing the Diggs Color Rush tonight.
Nice.
It's my boy's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Stefan Diggs. Also, Dane Jackson's birthday. Happy birthday, sir. But my boy Diggs, him himself. Happy birthday.
He is him.
We are here to celebrate another Bills victory and to talk about a future Bills victory. Correct?
Correct. Hey, Swank, I'm telling you what, after the week that they had going into the Cleveland Browns game with the snow, no practicing, all that stuff, and then the short week, I'm not taking anything away from the Detroit Lions with the short week because they also had one.
Yeah.
But the short week of having whatever they had, the flu, the stomach bug, whatever, having to travel again to Detroit and then going through all that, if you were to tell me that they would be 2-0 after that short stint, I'd be extremely happy. And they are 2-0, and we dodged a bullet, I believe. And I think it's thank God that mess is over with for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're starting to get to the other side of this, right? We wanted to hit like the newsy items right off the bat. It's a little different, I feel like, this week just because we like to have our show on Tuesday because you're getting right towards the end of like all that, like, give me everything about this last Bills game, especially if it's a win, right? So that's the way we formatted, to kind of like sit in between other shows, to not really conflict with anybody else. We want our people to come and hang with us and anybody who wants to, right? So like usually if the game's Sunday, by Tuesday you're like, yeah, tell me more about how good we are in this last win, but I want to hear about what's coming up this Sunday. This is a little different because we played Thursday and it's been, 5 days already. So we're definitely going to talk about that Lions game for sure. But we got a game coming up 2 days from now that's huge for us now. So, we got some cool shit we want to do and kind of move along, but it'll just be a little bit different. I think tonight's a little bit different.
A little bit.
But we got Patrick Hughes here. We got Cody. What's up? Let's go Buffalo. We got Ariel, a little Buffalo, and a bunch of red, white, and blue heart emojis. Can't go wrong with that. Nope. We got Lonnie.
What's up, Lonnie?
We got the first guy here, Josh Cook.
There you go.
He's solidified a spot in the playoffs. I didn't realize that he had won 10 games already in our fantasy league. And this some bitch, them Cooks, man, they got like a 4-leaf clover somewhere.
I mean,
somewhere
you
hidden.
take your wins when you can get them, Josh. But if one of your opposing teams would actually score some points when they played against you, maybe it'd be a different story. No, you play. I've had some people in fantasy league say it should be whoever scores the most. The top 6 scorers should advance and get the wins because it's tough sometimes.
That sounds like something Jarrod probably said when he was losing.
Probably. They always have their best games when it's against me.
We got our boy Doug, winner of the Crucial Catch jersey. We're giving away another jersey tonight. So if you were on the show last week and left a comment, we have this Salute to Service Josh Allen beautiful jersey. And, we're going to spin that wheel here not too long from this little diatribe, this little rant that we're doing right here. Brother Brent saying, get to cracking. What's up? We got Keely Smith. Go Bills. We got Robert Badette. Get 'em Bills. Debbie Emerton. She said, okay, I decided there's 2 kinds of nervous energy. Number 1 being a Bills fan. Number 2 being a Bills fan in divisional rival week. Very well said, Debbie.
Yep. The whole week is nerve-wracking, especially since we haven't won against our division yet this year.
Yeah, and that needs to happen.
Yep.
We got a little strength of schedule thing that we're going to be doing too. We got Patrick Howell. What's up, Pat? How are you doing, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
We got Greg Fife here. Go Bills. I love that, dude. Frank Mullen. We got
Frankie.
Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta.
Oh, yeah. Great guess. Great guess on that last show, huh, man? What a lot of fun. If you didn't check that out, we had Bills Vader, we had Buffalo Spartan, we had Bills Jason, Scott, myself, and it was our Salute to Service show. Talked a lot, had a lot of laughs, man. You can check that out audioly at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audacity, all that stuff, or YouTube, Facebook. Check the video out, man. We just have a ton of fun with you guys. Love the hell out of you.
They're hilarious. I watched the show back, and just the mannerisms of every one of us. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, dude. I swear to God, Bills Jason, like, just his demeanor, we were talking about it. Scott came over on Sunday to watch a little football and talk a little business, but, like, it's, like, to the point where we've done that enough with him and Spartan where, like, just, like, his mannerisms and the way he's sitting and shit, like, his body language is hilarious to me, and then he says something, and it's like, I don't know. I think that dude could be reading the obituaries, and I would laugh, you know?
Yep.
But, yes, man, we got a ton of people hanging out tonight. Thanks so much. Shane Becker. We got Mike V.
You guys are awesome.
Paul Rossi. Oh, man. So let's hit a couple little newsy items, and we'll spin that wheel. Want to do that?
Sweet, let's do it.
All right. So number 1, Von Miller had some stuff to say today. Now, he was apparently supposed to be out for at least 7 to 10 days. They were going to see how he was healing, how he was feeling. It is a meniscus, right? A lateral meniscus?
Yep, lateral meniscus. Yep.
Okay. And basically where he's at, they were saying they wanted to see where the swelling went. They were hoping that he could make a decision on whether he was going to have surgery now or whether he could play through it till the end of the season. Vaughn does his live stream, the Vaughncast, and said just an hour or two ago.
Yep.
That he is hoping that he is going to be ready to go by the Jets game, which is huge news. Like, that would be incredible. And, of course, we don't want him to push it, and we don't want him to end the season. But if he gets cleared and he's saying that and it's public, like, yes, please put him in for the Jets game because we need all the help we can get. The other little bit of news that came out of that is that he said Odell Beckham is visiting the Bills this Friday. So, I don't know, there was a little story over the weekend. Did you see that? About him getting kicked off a plane?
Oh, yeah, about him, being helped off a plane, I heard. He passed out.
I heard he was. Yeah, I never got the full story. If you guys know in the comments, man, let us know because, like, I'm wondering if it was like he took like a sleeping pill before he got on the plane, or was he messed up from the chest up? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. Who knows? Maybe he has bad playing anxiety. So you're right. Maybe he took something to relax him a little bit. And
Could be. I know he went to
eh,
Twitter and was saying that how ridiculous all of it was and whatever, but there's not a lot of, like, from what I've seen, there's not a lot of information on exactly what transpired. So
right.
that could be a red flag. That could be something that we want to keep an eye on. It's like Odell coming out, right?
I mean, he
Oh,
was part of the issue when he took all the Giants wide receivers to Florida for that on the yacht picture, wasn't he?
yeah.
And then the Giants went through a series of losses after that, and a lot of blame was put on him. So yeah, maybe he's just a young kid still enjoying life a little bit, and a little too hard, playing too hard.
I don't know, man. He seems to take a lot of blame no matter where he goes, and
Hmm.
I'm still not 100% sure like where I stand on him. I in the very beginning was very anti, like even when he was on a team and there was no chance of him coming here. Um, I just didn't think like his personality really fit. The whole like kicking the field goal practice thing and all the just the drama and the antics and the stuff that you see and hear about. But I think like I really do think everything I've heard about him going to Cleveland, he got blamed for a lot of stuff, and I think everybody's seeing it was Baker the whole time. You
Hmm.
know, Baker was the problem on that team. Um, they said I saw a stat. Ready for a nerd stat?
Go ahead.
Jacoby Brissett could throw his next 200 completion, like 200 balls attempts into Lake Erie, and still have a higher completion percentage than Baker Mayfield has this year. That's real.
Anybody still riding high on Baker?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, interesting, fun stat of the day.
Yeah.
Pat says McDermott will kick Odell's attitude into shape. What do you think about Odell, man? Are you a pro Odell guy? Anti? Indifferent? What do you think?
I'm with you right off the bat. I was like, our depth is good, Crowder, all them, but with our injuries as of late, I mean, right now, Gabe Davis, Diggs, McKenzie, Shakir. I'll be honest with you, and I know I'm gonna probably people are gonna think I'm crazy, but the news of hearing Smoke coming back kind of excites me a little more than OBJ. I know OBJ has his skill set, but Smoke stretches that field, guys, and he is a talent that Josh Allen was really comfortable with until Gabe Davis took over the role. So I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. I want to see what he brings to the table. We're still short wide receiver in that locker room, so bring him in, see what he has to offer. I just saw that I forgot who just said it. McDermott will shape,
Yeah.
well, OBJ will shape
Pat
him up.
Howell. Yep.
Yep, and which he will. And so will the rest of that locker room. But I saw his exercising, and his knee does still look a little wobbly when he's putting a lot of pressure on it. So,
Yeah.
and we've already discussed before, Swank. 100% practice is a lot different than going 100% during the game.
Well, like,
So
yeah.
it'll be interesting.
It kind of like runs parallel with like where Trey White is, right? And there was a lot of like talk and rumors and where is he at mentally and blah blah blah. And he hasn't really come out publicly and said anything, but he did play this last Thanksgiving. He did 15 snaps, never got a target thrown his way. Um, Seemed good.
Came off to the sidelines giving high fives. So
Yeah,
I think he was glad to actually put the um, test his knee out. And we mentioned it last week. Until he feels like his knee could hold up to what he wants to do, he's not going to be comfortable. So a snap count's perfect in that situation. Get out there, do 15 snaps. If you feel good, we'll see how you feel the next couple days, see how the swelling does, see how all that does. And if you're coming out of it okay, even after the game and the therapy afterwards, next week we'll do 30 plays.
yeah,
Just bring it back slow, but at least introducing him to this game and the game time speed is the best. And I'm glad he came off giving high fives. That tells everybody that he was feeling good out there.
yeah, yeah. He's not gonna pull a retirement at halftime move, right?
You
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You want Trey to be at his peak and feeling himself and realizing right where he's at and everything that he missed last year and what he could have added to try and get him over the hump and a little bit of those. Again, remember, we've talked about it on the show. Patrick Mahomes, out of the last 4 times they've played the Bills, has not faced Trey at least 3 of those times. So when you have a top 5, 10 corner in the league, whatever you want to say, and he's not out on the field taking away half of it, and you're going against a second string secondary, I mean, sure. But we'll see. I'm hoping Trey comes out and maybe people start to test him a little bit. It didn't seem like they didn't want anything to do with him. Goff didn't want anything to do with him when he was out there. So,
right.
I mean, I think that says a lot as far as like the respect level that he demands, whether he's 100% or not.
Right. And you go to Mahomes not playing against Trey White, it goes the same for Tyreek Hill. So I think it's perfect that they're creeping him in, because this week we have the Patriots, next week we have the Jets, and that following week where Trey White can finally play 100% of the defensive snaps, he'll be going against Waddle and Tyreek. So
yeah,
hey,
be perfect.
I can't wait for it. That'll be the test.
Let's go. Guys, thanks so much. Ton of viewership today. Really appreciate all of your support. We got Pop Swank, Mr. Riffity Riffs over on YouTube right now, hanging out with a handful of people.
Awesome.
So yeah, I think we touched on a little bit. You know, they did sign John Brown back. Smoke, he's very stoked to be here. I watched his press conference. He's been keeping up, working out. Hopefully, you know, I think we can all agree that we'd probably rather have him out there than Tanner Gentry at any time, right?
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. Just another layer of veteran depth. And there's a lot of old guys that are out there still catching balls. So, you know, old Smokey, he got banged up pretty good these last couple seasons. And hopefully, you know, he can get his walk-off home run right now. You know what I mean? That would be great. So
great deep threat. Great deep threat. We haven't seen Allen air it out on the sidelines in a long time. So I think just his presence alone will make those safeties drop a little deeper.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want to give some shit away here, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're going to do the Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny. So if you guys, any of you left a comment during the live stream, and remember, guys, when we do this, these giveaways, you're only qualifying if you leave a comment during the live stream. We can actually, Jarrod is our guy that goes back and checks out all the comments because they come in so quick nowadays, you can't keep up. But if you have a little red dot on your comment, that means you said it live. And if it's gray, it means you came in late and said something. And we just, you know, nothing against you guys coming in late. We love anybody watching the show, but this is for those that commented live. Good luck to everyone. We're going to spin that Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny.
Destiny. Boop. While this is going really quick, John said, not Bills related, but please keep your thoughts and prayers for Ellen Lartz and her family as they're dealing with the passing of her cousin, especially with her aunt who's not dealing with this too well. We love you a whole lot, Ellen. Thank you so much for being part of our family. Anything you need, you let us know. And we have a winner, Keely Smith.
Keely, there you go.
Wins the Salute to Service Josh Allen jersey.
There you go. Jarrod wants to know if you put his name on that list. Keely,
he
PM us.
So you asked the question. He had his name on the list, and I had to delete
this one too?
Again. That's two.
Jarrod, are you serious?
Come on, Jarrod.
He's messing with people.
Come on, Jerry.
Keely, private message us your address. I know we've got it somewhere. You've won stuff before, but yeah, I'll get it shipped out tomorrow to you. Congratulations, and it's Salute to Service. This game coming up Thursday is December 1st, so the Salute to Service will be over with, but a big thank you, shout out to those who've served, those who are serving, those who have sacrificed their life, so we can enjoy the lives we do, the podcast that we do, being able to watch a football game, a game every Sunday, Thursday, Monday, all that stuff. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, all the military guys.
Jarrod was saying stuff, keep that lucky charm with you to Keely. Keely, I think, posted earlier that her grandson was with her.
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
That was her good luck charm, and she won. So hey,
there you go.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, everybody, you know. Patrick said this isn't Swank's first day on the job. I think that's about taking Jarrod's name off the list.
All right. Yeah. Gotta check that list. He's not double dipping.
Don't worry, man. You know what? I'm gonna do one of these times. I'm gonna do one wheel with like 60 names on it, and it's all gonna be Jarrod.
What's he gonna win? Another child?
Oh, that was a good one.
Jarrod hasn't been on the show in a while, guys. He's enjoying my new nephew, Camden. He's about a month old now. He's got a new baby, number
Yeah,
4,
wow.
so he'll be coming back with us soon. And to be honest with you guys, I'm actually a phone call away from having to go attend to the the potential delivery of my little one coming. Could be coming tonight or within 5 days, the doctor said. So I'm excited. A
Hey,
lot more
man.
reads in the world.
I mean, I enjoy reads. I think everybody here enjoys reads, man. So yeah, populate them. There's other people that, let's make room for reads. I got, I got like a list of people we can get rid of. Just put more reads on the
All right,
wall.
there you
Yeah,
go.
hell yeah.
It's a long list, I bet.
If you look below me right here, there's this nerdy disclaimer that Jarrod wanted everybody to know about how the process goes of him picking whether you're live or not live. So,
Did he actually write it out?
oh yeah, yeah, I'm gonna leave
Okay.
it up there just for a little bit.
There you go.
We got
So,
Robbie.
guys, again, thanks. I'm seeing all these comments coming in. They're shooting in. You guys are
Yeah,
doing
man, you
awesome.
guys are killing it, dude. Thank you so much. Um, that's Robbie from Let's Talk 716. What's up, Robbie?
What's up, Robbie?
Let's get into let's see what time. Oh, we got time, dude.
Holy
So I
cow.
thought that there was this cool little thing that I found before we get into the Patriots game. CBS Sports put up this list of the toughest remaining strength of schedule. I got it up on your screen right now. Obviously, I wanted to talk about it just a little bit because one of the offensive coordinators that left the Buffalo Bills last season is currently the coach of the New Jersey Giants. And it is the opinion of the K-Gun Report and most of the guests of the K-Gun Report, as well as the patrons and family members of the group, that a Mr. Brian Dable might be a fraud. Just a little bit of a fraud. And he might be winning the same way he was losing in Buffalo by like very small margins. And if you look at this and you assess the loss that he just incurred here on Thursday, you might begin to wonder if maybe all of this is going to come home to roost here, because the Giants do have the toughest remaining strength of schedule. And if you think I'm getting enjoyment out of this, I'm going to tell you something. You're absolutely right. I'm getting a ton of enjoyment out of this. So, Scott, real quick, because we're going to go to the games that matter, what are you thinking is going to happen with this Giants team real quick, this Brian Dable-led Giants team, as they pursue their path?
Well, they started off hot. We all saw it. And, Swank, you more than I kind of was guessing that at some point Dable's going to fall and his team's going to fall. And you mentioned before, he's winning the games that he lost last year. And it's fun. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was a stat that was actually used against Josh Allen and the Bills this year. Couldn't win the close ones.
We talked
But
about that.
we got to remember who the offensive coordinator during that time was. And the fact that you could blame it on the players because they're playing the games, but the play calls, we said it last year, were horrible. Dable got predictable, and sometimes we got Walmart Dable. So no, I'm with you. The Eagles are on fire. Cowboys are definitely on fire, and that's going to leave. Obviously the Commanders are on fire. They're all on fire, and I think the Giants are going to go from the top of their division down to the bottom, and they're going to miss the playoffs. I hate to say it. The NFC East is looking as tough right now, record wise, as the AFC East. I mean, we got a legit division that we're in, but man, oh man, with these other teams in this division and they got the toughest schedule remaining. They're going to go from hottest to worst quick. I'm looking at their schedule now. They have 1, 2, 3 divisional games right off the bat coming up. The Commanders, the Eagles, and the Commanders. They could lose all 3 of those games. Then they have the Vikings, who always tough. The Colts, who can't seem to get anything right. Ryan needs to retire. I saw him playing yesterday. He can't get out of the pocket. He can't move. I feel bad for him. He came into an offense that he thought he was just going to hand the ball off to Taylor, and it's just not happening.
Yeah.
And then they finish off with the Eagles. So I can see, unfortunately for Giants fans, 1, 2, 3, 5 losses in the next 6 games. That's a tough schedule. And
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it too, just because of all the blame that Allen and the Bills got for those close losses when it was our friend Dable that was in charge of calling those plays.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll take this season. Give me this season. All right, like the flash in the pan. Um, to me, like Dable's always just been a little bit bigger than he actually is. And Rob Mullen brings up a great point. Honestly, Dable's staff is legit. Not a Dable fan myself. Have many issues with him. However, his offensive coordinator is an upcoming superstar, and the DC is proven. And yes, absolutely. And it's hard to make it in this league. And there's got to be a little bit of skill and some kind of like life in it. But I don't think Dable's earned it. I hate that people credit his, like, Josh Allen's development directly to Brian Dable. I hate that people were saying Daniel Jones was going to be the next Josh Allen because he had Brian Dable. There are very huge differences between Josh Allen and Daniel Jones. Josh Allen, like, and this is no slight against Daniel Jones, other than he is not Josh Allen, and that's not his fault. And Brian Dable didn't make Josh Allen. He helped Josh Allen along. But I would argue Josh Allen's the kind of dude that wrote 100 letters to colleges, that worked his ass off, that got put through the gauntlet all the way through college and through the draft process and through the first 3 seasons of his career, the first season especially, the second season when he showed marketable improvement, got put through it. The third season, it's not for real. He got to do it again. The fourth season, now, okay, well, maybe he's an MVP. Like, like this, the path that he had to travel to prove everybody wrong, and he's still climbing it. The dude loses, 8-3 right now? Like, he loses 3 games. He's got a bum arm, and he's still getting scrutinized because what? They're not completely shutting out everybody, and like, you know, he can't get hurt and whatever. I get real pissy about this, man, because it's like every other quarterback in the NFL, it seems like they get all the excuses in the world. They get all the leniency. And if you're a Buffalo Bills quarterback, dude, no love. No love. If you're so good, you got to prove it for 5 seasons. And then as soon as you get hurt, you're nothing. You know, It's right back to Mac Jones is the man or whatever. And I got to be honest, I'm glad. I'm totally glad for it. Let all that locker room poster board stuff, just let it be there. But going back to the Dable thing, I think that this could be humbling and good for the Giants. I think that he shouldn't have been out in the parking lot smoking cigars and signing autographs after his 5th win. You know, I think that he gets hyped into the game, but it's too far. I mean, that's not the system he came from. McDermott and Bean show you the exact blueprint to follow to be a respectable, successful franchise in the NFL. And I don't know. I'm not saying that means that you don't need to have a personality or whatever, but I'm saying, like, I think this is just exactly par for the course. I think exactly what you're saying. They're going to start tanking, and it'll be justified. And let it humble them, and hopefully for Giants fans, it rights next year, and they build a decent team. Because, I mean, Joe Sheen's amazing. And
I was going to mention him. Dable's got him in his back pocket, and he's a product of Bean, and he knows what he's doing throughout the draft. He's been there, done that. So if Dable does continue to look successful and be successful, I'm not going to take 100% of it away from him.
yeah.
But Schoen, general manager, doing his thing and bringing in the players and the pieces, will make him look like a better coordinator than he actually is, or head coach than he actually is. But they'll do that during the draft and the free agency and all that stuff. I think they can upgrade from Daniel Jones. I wouldn't put it by the Giants to go and draft a 1st-round quarterback next year, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is. All right, so anyway, looking at this strength of schedule.
Don't talk about our Josh Allen like that, right?
That's right. I'm protective of our boy Josh.
Yeah.
Is there anything that stands out to you on here?
On what?
On the strength of schedule here, buddy.
I alluded to it earlier that AFC East is no joke as a division. Patriots are winning defensively like they always do. They always seem to have a good defense. The Jets, Mike White comes in and wins the game. They're a tough Salem coached team. They're going to be around for a while. And Miami, obviously, doing Miami things. Tua was dubbed the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now from our man Fitzpatrick. He very well could be, but if you had two thoroughbreds like he does at wide receivers, then there's not any quarterback in the league I don't think that can be
Hmm.
top. Um, but yeah, strength of schedule. I'm glad to see that our division's in there. I think the Bills can handle their rest of their schedule, but it's going to make the AFC East a lot different in the next 3 to 4 games as far as them getting wins, which will make it easier for us, I believe. One thing I did not like is seeing that the Kansas City Chiefs have the easiest schedule going from here on out.
Yeah.
They've got a game up on us right now. A tiebreaker goes to us. They need to be handled by the Bengals this week, I think, but them having the easiest schedule from here on out does not look promising for a Bills number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just something that you you start to like expect, right? Like
Yeah,
you get into this lane where we're at right now, and you got an incredible record, and you've beaten most of the teams that you should have beat, and then you got this pesky like divisional thing that's happening, um, and I think you know this weekend is the weekend that we can jump them. Like this is the weekend to make it happen, right? So if we take care of business on Thursday against the Pats, and then they're playing the Bengals, correct?
the
The
Chiefs are
Chiefs are
playing the Bengals, and Miami is playing the 49ers.
49ers, yes. So,
So it's a weekend that we could take the number 1 seed back.
and there you go. I mean, if we do, all we can do is what we do, right? So you got to go in, you got to win this game against the Patriots. Like, absolutely got to win it, to me.
Yep. Yep.
And if you do that and cards fall as they may, I mean, you're talking about us setting number 1 seed by the end of the weekend. If the Chiefs lose, and if Miami loses and we win, we're number 1. That's the sway, right?
Yep.
Like
That's
that,
it.
And then if you go to New York, take care of business there, all of a sudden you're putting a little cushion. You're starting to get that weight, get that separation, and when you meet up with the Dolphins again,
In the cold Buffalo weather.
there you go. It's lining up to do what needs to happen. I think this is probably a good time for us to like segue into this week's matchup, right?
Hmm.
Um, to me, this is a long stretch of games. A short time for 3 games. What do you say? 3 games in 19 days, I think, is where they're at right now.
Yep.
Obviously, they've been banged up. They're losing some key pieces. They haven't been 100% healthy all season. But somehow still 8-3 through all of that, and that's incredible. Now you're going into New England on a Thursday night primetime game. Josh Allen shines. You got a vengeful, hateful Bill Belichick sitting there just wanting to destroy you because you've made him look like a fool the last 2 times you met up with him.
Hmm.
And you got a Mac Jones who's on the uptick right now. And Judon, who's leading the league in sacks. I mean, where do we start with this game, Scott? Where do we start?
I think the sweatshirt versus the bald-headed ex-wrestler. It's coaching. It's coaching right now. It's a defensive matchup. The Patriots have the 5th-ranked defense, and I'm telling you, defense and special teams is how they're winning games. The bag of milk really hasn't provided much of an offense for the Patriots. I know they have a pretty good run game, averaging 4 yards a carry, but I mean, if you want to talk about stats, the Bills have a better run game than they do. Um, so it's one of those. It's a tough environment. It's a short week for the Patriots, but it's you get set in a set of ways when you play a Sunday game, then you have a whole week. This still feels like a short week to Buffalo, even
Mm-hmm.
though they played last Thursday. So it's a game where you have to come out and not be outcoached. Patriots might throw some trickery out there. They'll be like the Lions, I think, and going for those ridiculous 4th downs, almost like a nothing to lose kind of thing, because this is
Yep.
a huge game for the Patriots to win because they are last in the division, but they're only 2 games out of the top. So you may see a little bit of desperate calls, flashy plays, unorthodox going for it on 4th and short at your own 20-yard line when you potentially get the Bills the ball. Um, it'll be a game of coaching, I think. And I'm trying to figure out the weather report. Hopefully, it's decent weather, but it's gonna be a tough one. It's not going to be that 7 possession, 7 touchdown kind of game. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know Belichick got asked in his presser if he was worried about forcing the Bills to punt. Did you see that at all or no?
No, no.
So one of the reporters in New England asked if that was like a worry of his and a focus because the Bills haven't punted against them in 2 games, and then he said something about like how one of them was a fake punt, and that there's nothing you can do about that. And for all Bill Belichick is, a genius, a Hall of Fame coach, all the respect that you can give him while you still hate his guts, right? For the 20 years of pain and misery he's inflicted on us. He was wrong. That wasn't in these last 2 games. That was the game before. Or no, 2 games before. It was 4 games ago. And he was remembering that as opposed to like what happened in these last 2 games. And it kind of like flipped a switch in my brain where I was just like, I mean, he's getting up there in age. He's played 1,000,000 games. Like, I'm sure they all bleed together or whatever. This is a different kind of year for him. But is that like a tell that like, either he's watched so much tape to try and like figure the Bills out that he's mixing 4 games worth of footage, or he's kind of like not in it. You know what I mean? Like he's not up to like where they are now. It's just kind of garbage that he's like putting out there to say something. I don't know.
I think I agree with the latter of the two there, Swank. I
Yeah.
mean, someone, a coaching a genius like you've heard all along about Bill Belichick, doesn't make that kind of error. A
Mm-hmm.
fake punt that happened 4 games ago, you're talking about happened within the last 2 games of the Buffalo Bills? No, that's not. I mean, I won't say he's losing much, but maybe he's just not in as much control as far as the film room and all that stuff has been in the past. Maybe he's just his coordinators are taking care of everything, and he's just along for the ride trying to get those records for wins for coach.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he cares about it enough still. I just think, you know,
Oh yeah, but there's a lot up there.
yeah.
There's a lot you have to spit out the other side of the year if you put bringing it back into the. It's just a lot of information for as many years as he's coached and been a dominant coach. Yeah, there's got to be points where it starts blending in and you're mixing games up and all that stuff. Plus, you don't have Brady saving you, so
Yeah. Yeah, that's the deal. I don't know. But they're still they still have a winning record. I don't know.
defense wins championships.
Defense. Rob Mullen, matchup keys to victory. Get to Jones as he's second in the league in QBR when unpressured. However, he's dead last when pressured. Yes, Rob Mullen. We talk about it all the time on this
He's
show.
he's played in 8 games, been sacked 24. That means he's been sacked 3 times. So that means he's being pressured like crazy. So bring the heat.
Yeah.
Bring the heat. The good news is, I think Swank, you were saying Russo practiced this week, Epinesa practiced, Tremaine Edmonds practiced. The only guys that weren't really on the list were the ones coming back from the stomach flu,
Mm-hmm.
stomach bug, whatever it was. Von Miller and Deion Dawkins, right?
Dion, Quentin Morris was one of the illnesses. Stefan had a vet day rest for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another vet rest. Taiwan Jones.
Taiwan Jones. So I agree.
Everybody else
Bring the
was
blitz a little bit. We all know AJ Klein, who did a fantastic job filling for Edmonds. You will notice if you go back and watch the film a little bit, he fills the gap a little better than Edmonds. I'm not taking anything away from Edmonds because he's got the notch and pass coverage and being able to get in his depth and deflect balls and create a disturbance that way. But AJ Klein seems to have a little bit of better knack to get to the gap, meet the guard, the lead blocker within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage and create plays. So I think if Edmonds is out, I know he practiced, but I think AJ Klein can handle the job if he has to, because we are playing against a Patriot team that tends to run the ball a little more. But no, he did a great job filling in for Edmonds.
I'd like to hit this point that our boy Bill's Maverick, shout out to flight school. He says, time to hopefully bench Dane Jackson. Once White is back up to speed, it's time to roll out Trey White, Elam, and Taron Johnson. He's given up crazy high passer rating numbers. I'll say this, man. I was a big Dane Jackson fan going into this season, and I think he's gotten a bum deal. I think he's played pretty well like the first part of the season, the first part of the first half, so the first quarter of the season. And now there's a ton of tape on him, and he's lining up against elite number one wide receivers in this league that make really good corners look stupid. And you're right. I mean, you're right. It's the number one like corner position, I feel, and Scott, please weigh in after this. It's too big for Dane right now, and probably for his career it'll be too big for him. He has really good coverage skills. He just needs to turn his head. He does not have the instinct to turn his head. He makes great plays on the ball. It doesn't matter when you're playing Justin Jefferson. It doesn't matter when you're playing Amari Cooper. Like, they are going to, like, both of those guys had insane catches on him where Dane had his hand on the ball while they just out physical him. They out muscled him, and it's a shame. I do think that he's got a rotational role on this team. I do think that he can come in a pinch, but I agree. I gotta say, I hate to say it on his birthday, but I agree.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Swank. We mentioned the 50-50 balls that Cleveland was able to take advantage of in their game. As a starting corner in the NFL, you need to make those 50-50 balls remain 50-50, not 70-30, not 80-20. And unfortunately for Dane, who I do think covers the wide receiver well, he's just not turning his head. He's not swatting the ball out of the hands. He's not making it hard for these wide receivers not to catch it.
Yeah.
Enter Kaiir Elam. They brought him in for a reason. And with Trey White coming back and Kaiir Elam being our number one draft pick, Benford's out of the question because he's on IR. I think it's time to see what we have with those three. Kaiir, Trey White, and Taron Johnson. And I think you'll find that is a pretty stellar defensive backfield, with Dane Jackson being the dime cornerback, the fourth quarterback. He struggles against number ones, sometimes number twos, but I think if you put him against the not the slot receiver, but the fourth receiver, I think you'll find out that that's his position, and I think he could be a successful defensive back for Buffalo in that regard.
Yeah, I think he'd be average in coverage. Like, I don't know. It's so hard, man, because we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, where, like, if a corner messes up once, that's his game, right? That's what he's known for. But, like, a defensive lineman just has to get home once, and they had a great game,
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot. Like, all the time, we always say it, like, if you're not hearing a corner's name, then he's doing a great job, right? So
Yep.
it's an unfortunate circumstance. I feel like I feel bad, and I hope that all this experience is gonna continue to, like, help him and develop him. But I think at this point in the season, we're really just seeing, like, his physical limitations right now. I don't know what more he can do in coverage aside from, like I said, turning his head, getting those instincts, like, juiced up. Like, how do you coach that?
Right.
Those are just bad balls that could have went either way.
And he's struggling against the bigger wide receivers, and Jacoby Myers, Devontae Parker, and Nelson Aguilar are good sized wide receivers. So I think he would have the same struggle you saw against Cooper if he were to be starting this week.
Yeah.
And guys, we're going into this talking about Dane Jackson. He knows the situation here in Buffalo. Obviously, all these players know the situation, where they set in the depth chart, take the best out of the opportunities that you have. But he knew Trey White was coming back. He knew the Bills drafted a number one cornerback in the league, so he knew his role. I think he came in, he did what he had to do, did a good job of doing it while it lasted. Now it's time for him to take the role back as CB number 4, the dime back, and this is not news for him. So I'm not surprised to see him struggle, but I'm glad to see that he was part of that 8-3 team that we have now. And now our defensive backs are starting to come back, and we'll see a lot more. You might be able to see him relax a little better, maybe even have better coverage, because the pressure's not on him as much as it had been in the past.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things that I've been saying for, like, the last couple of weeks is, if the secondary is going to continue to struggle, and some of it is absolutely expected, I think, like, I actually feel like they got kind of lucky in the first half of the season. There wasn't a lot of tape on them. All of a sudden, now there is, and now they're figuring it out. And it seems like, man, Paul Rossi said our D needs to step up against the run. Like, yeah, I think that's a huge deficit right now, and I think there's definitely weak spots in this secondary and inconsistency that people are starting to figure out. Quarterbacks are starting to play and know what to do. Mac Jones, is he a guy that can do that? Maybe. But one of the things that I've been talking about is if the secondary isn't going to be able to cover, if you have a guy that is continuously getting roasted, send pressure. Blitz. If that guy's not covering, send pressure. You don't have to do it every down. But if you're, like I said, rattling cages enough to get that quarterback shook where he's looking over his shoulder, he's hearing footsteps, that is as valuable to me as, getting cut over for a slant or something stupid, If you got Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano in their positions, playing the way they play, full health, and you got, a Dane Jackson cheating in and, a Jordan Poyer cheating over that side, like, send him. Send him. Why? If he's not doing well in coverage, send him. Or send one guy so that he's. To me, it just makes sense. Like they are figuring out that Bills front four, the banged up front four that we've been having. They're figuring out how to stop them from getting to the quarterback, and we need to do something. So I'm hoping there's an aggressive game plan in that respect. I called that play, against the Browns, right? What I say, like, they're going to bomb it to Amari Cooper right off the bat.
Yep.
Right? And if they complete
And
it,
what
they're
they
going to
do,
keep doing
first
it.
drive.
And I think Goff, similar mindset right off the bat, right? Like trying to air it out, trying to get some good plays, get some good air. And you got to do something to rattle them so that they're not so gung-ho to do that, because it seems like they do it a couple times and then they're running it down your throat. They're trying to bleed clock. They're trying to keep Josh Allen off the field. And that is the biggest thing we need to stop right now.
Right. And they haven't been doing bad against the run, to be honest with you. I think, and I said it earlier, I said it last week. I think if you take away some of these third longs that these teams seem to be getting against the Bills, and this goes in with it, the 50-50 balls, if we can start turning that number more to in our favor, you're going to see that the defense is getting off the field faster and these drives aren't lasting as long. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of third down passes, deep passes to the sideline that these guys are coming down with. And it just seems like they're running the ball down our throats, but it's only because they have the ball for 8 minutes for 15 plays.
There you go.
That's just what I see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Mullen says Elam is a lockdown man corner, and now that we will send 5 or more, man coverage is the norm going forward. So there you go. You're playing into your rookie high draft pick, first round strength. You know what I mean? You can send. So I don't know. I'll get off that.
I would like to see that. I would like to see both Elam and White get his knee back underneath them and play, because they're both very good at man defense. If you could do that, you don't have to worry about putting someone else in the zone to take care of where those wide receivers are going, which would allow you to bring a corner, a nickel, or a linebacker, because you don't have to worry about them filling the zone anymore. The defense will be in man and you'll be all set. So I would like to see that. And I want to say that's probably part of the reason why they brought in Elam, is so they can bring in some more of those packages. They had plenty of options at cornerback that were good at the two deep zone defenses with the man or even the flats, but they went with a guy that excels at man defense. So I think when you have all the cards in your hand finally as a Buffalo Bills secondary with Trey White back, you might see more of that. And I agree, Rob. You man up those two main wide receivers. We all know how Milano and Edmonds can cover how they can cover man to man. Bring a blitz.
Yeah.
Have somebody covering that running back. If he stays in the block, just have him lower their head and pile drive him into the quarterback. I think that might be something we could expect.
Yeah. Rob's making some really good points. I didn't mean to go off about the run as far as like the defense being bad against it, but it's starting to get reminiscent of like a year ago, 2 years ago, where they will keep a running back to nothing and then they'll break that home run ball and then they'll start to just bleed it. And I guess really, if you're looking at like the Browns, Jacoby Brissett had like a ridiculous career day passing against us, right?
Yep.
And you're looking at Goff. I mean, he had great numbers too. It's just, it seems like whatever play they call, like from their second series on offensively, like for the opposing team offensively, they've just got that dynamic to know like when to run, when to pass, how to just break their spirit. And it pisses me off because I just want those 3 and outs.
Yep.
I want the time of possession, to be swayed, and the field position, all that stuff. And it all just combines together. We want it all. We want every game to be 80-0, and we want to be happy by the end of the second quarter and backups to come in and all that stuff. I do agree that our interior is stout. I think that's not where our problem is. The problem is breaking balls outside. He actually, it's funny, Rob was talking about tackling is the reason that teams are moving the chains on us. Guys like Hamlin want to hit and they're not wrapping up. Hamlin is actually
leading tackler.
He's the leading tackler on the team right now. So
he's got a point. He has 71 tackles now. He could have 90.
Sure.
I mean, Milano missed a big one late in the game against Detroit. He had the running back in the backfield for a loss. He ended up running up 15, 20 yards. Not a Milano type play, but the missed tackles will kill you every time.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can take anything away from Milano's season right now. Like one mess up or whatever. And actually, I was going to say with the Hamlin thing, yeah, like think of how much more he could have. He's leading the team, and he could have more if he would just wrap a guy up instead of try to muscle him down.
Yeah,
but
he does try to deliver the boom. He's got good size. He is a good hitter, but
yeah,
this is the NFL, man. This isn't Pitt where you went to college and you could do that. These people bounce off these. Yep.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the defense here, and I want to get into the offense. What do you think we're looking at offensively for a scheme going into this game?
Patriots have an all-around good defense. They have for a couple of years now, 5th rank, I think, total. But what I'm most excited about this offense is Josh Allen has a whole week of recovery. We know his arm's still bothering him. He's still wearing that wrap or whatever it is. And you can actually see 2 tight things around where if you have a tennis elbow or swollen tendons and ligaments, those are pressure points to keep them so they don't hurt as bad. So you saw that on his arm these past 2 games. So a week off, rest. I think we'll see a Josh Allen come back. Offense will look dynamic. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Singletary. The Bills introduced the Pat rush game late last year in the second half of the season, and we're starting to see it now. Singletary's running the ball hard. James Cook has flashes. This offense should, against this 5th-ranked defense, get a little spark because Judon, is going to come in with a spark. He always does. He's always someone that tends to hit Josh Allen a little late, fall on his knees, push him out of bounds a little late. That's Judon's game of play. He did it when he was in Baltimore. He's done it against the Buffalo Bills. So hopefully this offensive line and this offense will come with their own spark, but you better be ready because this Patriots team has a lot to play for, and their defense always plays chippy. So I hope the Bills have an answer, which I think they will, and I'm excited to see whether or not Smoke will actually be on the active or inactive list. I don't think there's much of the offense that he's going to have to learn, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely want them to lean on Motor a little bit more. It seems like there's parts of the game where they get away from him, and in the early part of the season, it was the second half. Now it seems like it's series by series, quarter by quarter. I don't know what the rotation is between him and Cook. The guy that I really want to see is Hines. When they throw him out there with either Cook or Motor, it is always a dynamic play. There's always something going on, and it always puts the defense on their toes. And I'm saying always. It's happened like twice. But it's something that, like, you're not prepared for. You haven't seen a lot. And I think this is a game where you got to pull out all the stops, and you got to start to show, okay, you've shown what your average offense looks like this season, your average offense with a banged-up Josh Allen. Now let's see a little creativity. Let's see what your bag of tricks looks like a little bit, Let's see
Mm-hmm.
some of these jet sweeps. Let's see some of these split back. Is it going to Hines? Is it going to Cook? Is it not going to either of them? It's going to Dawson Knox. Is it going to, like, there's so many things that you can do. And I just think they haven't even really turned the page or let you have a peek at what the possibilities are. And
Right.
I don't know if that's limitations on Dorsey's part as a young offensive coordinator, or if that's, let's save a little bit, we're winning games, we don't need all that shit right now, like, let's just get through this week and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, Rob Mullen said it. I'm glad he brought it up because I was going to talk about it. We saw a couple attempts at the screenplay the other day, and they looked horrible, almost like they don't know how to run one. But I would like to see something like that out of James Cook or even Naheem Hines. When those guys are out there, Swank, I agree. The one pass a couple weeks ago, Hines going down the sideline, just missed it. So these big dynamic plays with when you're seeing a different kind of scheme out there are just missing, or you're just not getting it. I think we saw a little bit of the Bills trying something new with a very successful game plan involving Isaiah McKenzie last week.
Yeah.
10 targets, 6 catches, a touchdown, a lot of yards. I saw that as something that's like, oh, let's see what we got with this. We know what we have. Let's throw this in there. This may be a week where we see the running backs more involved. I see them trying to damper and stick their toe in a few different things that they haven't tried yet this week, and the weeks coming up.
Yeah, I think it's necessary. I think this is a very important game,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I feel like there's not a ton of hype on it outside of like the AFC East fan base, right? Like it seems like this game should be talked about more. And I what I really think is happening is that like a lot of people in the media are just waiting to see what the outcome is. You know what I mean? Because if New England were to win, which I don't think is a possibility, I think that we're going to go in and handle business, and I think this is going to be like our swan song of that like mentality, that culture. This is a tough stretch, and we're going to win every single game. Like I want them to do that and get the first division game. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Patriots were to squeak it out, the narrative across NFL media is going to be ridiculous. Like, it's going to be, the Kingslayers. It's going to be whatever. And then all the weight of the game, like what the game actually means in the AFC East and for the Buffalo Bills, who are touted as like this Super Bowl mega crazy team, that's going to be exposed then. If the Bills go in and they do what they're supposed to do, I think it's going to get kind of swept under the rug, man. I think that, like, the media is done with, like, the Bills being a juggernaut. They've only lost 3 games. They fell out of first place in the AFC, and the media's already done, like, same old Bills. Let's move on.
It's criminal, Swank, because if you watch the last how many Thursdays that Prime Video has played on Thursdays, this is the best game that they've had. And you think you would be hearing it all over the place about how important it is that if the Patriots win it, then they're one game out of the front, and all 4 AFC East teams could potentially be in the playoffs. And this is a huge game for a turnaround because the Bills haven't won against the AFC East. There's a lot that goes into this game that's going to set the tone for the rest of the week. And you're right, the media is doing nothing to help exaggerate that feeling that all Bills fans and Patriots fans are feeling. Where's everybody else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I kind of love it. I kind of love this. I love that people wrote him off so quick. We all, we've been fans for how long, collectively. Like, you knew this was going to happen. You knew the first loss, ever since that Miami game, dude. It's just been, well, they're not who we thought they were, and they've been writing them off, and they've just been waiting for the next team to figure them out, or waiting to what, or they're not winning the way they used to win. And I feel like there's like very little coverage on Josh's injury outside of Buffalo. Like, it's just the same old like Bills, right? Like, that's what everybody wants them to become, is the same old Bills. And if I was in that locker room as a coach, that's exactly what I would tell those dudes. I would be like, this is what they think you are. They think you have won 8 games in the hardest league to win in the whole sports spectrum, and they're writing you off.
Yep.
Because you lost 3 and you have an injured quarterback. And literally injuries everywhere. Man, I hope that underdog thing, man, like that should just, this season should set the tone for the rest of those dudes' careers in Buffalo, because like this is what it is. You guys were Cinderella at the beginning of the season, and now you've won 8 games, 8 games out of 11, and you're like nothing to them, absolutely nothing.
And 3 games that they've only lost by a total of 8 points.
8 points, yeah.
And Miami, they were heat stroked out. You could take a look. You can have an excuse for every game, but they were in every game, and they've only lost by a total of 8 points for those 3 games. So, yeah, just keep writing them off. We've had so many injuries, so many sicknesses, so many adversities with the games within 5 days, and the snow thing. You'll see, you'll see.
All right, guys, we're at this point in the show where we'd like to. Here we go, folks. We're in overtime. That's right, kids. We're in overtime right now. So, what we want from you is your score predictions, your bold predictions. If you got an X factor, throw it our way. Scott, why don't you hit me with a score prediction and a bold prediction?
I'm going 24-10. And my bold prediction is we haven't had one of these in a while. I think it's because Jarrod and I, we do FanDuel, and we've picked Josh Allen to throw over 300 yards with a whole bunch of other stats, and he hasn't since we started doing that. So you could blame us if you want, but I'm going Josh Allen, getting back to the 300 yards passing a game, getting that ship right. And my X factor, I'm gonna give the X factor to that the defensive interior line. Hell, even the 7 in the box. They need to stop this run, which I think they can do. They've been an effective run defense all year, 4th in the league, I believe. And just making that bag of milk, put them on the ground a couple of times, make life miserable. I think that the four defensive linemen will be the X factor of how this game turns out.
I like it. My prediction is 32-14. I think one of those touchdowns come in the 4th quarter late. I think we are going to take care of business and show everybody in this league exactly who we are. I think Josh is feeling better. I think there are wide receivers on this team that are starting to gain confidence, mainly Isaiah McKenzie. I think he's starting to find his spot. I think they're doing exactly what Scott said, finding a role for him. I expect him to get a little more attention this week and to open up the birthday boy for another touchdown this week for sure. So my bold prediction is a 2-parter. 1, Diggs over 100, TD. 2, we're seeing that Hines backflip. Hines is going to get down there and into the end zone, and we're going to see that backflip in New England right in front of all their faces.
Nice.
And my X factor for this game absolutely is Mr. Greg Rousseau. He's got to eat. He's got to step up. I think Eddie Oliver is going to take a very commanding veteran leadership role of this line with Vaughn being out, and I think Vaughn is going to put it all on him to do, and I think Greg is going to go out there and do his mentor right, and he's going to get at least 2 sacks.
Challenge accepted.
Hell yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Doug says Gabe Davis 150 and 2 TDs. I would love to see that. Oh my God, I would love to see that. Rob Mullen score prediction 27-12. We get to Mac and turn him over, holding New England to 4 field goals at best. I like that too.
There you go.
Lonnie says 36-14. Debbie says 31-20. Mike V, 38-10. Josh Cook, 35-17. Allen throws for 3 and runs for 1. Other TD is a pick 6. I like that.
All right. Who's getting that, Josh?
Who's getting it? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Fife says 28-14. Bills win.
Yep.
Rob Mullen, bold prediction. Dorsey finally finds that lost page in Dable's playbook, and they incorporate screens into the game plan. That's nice.
They need to. They need to freeze these linebackers a little better so they so Diggs and Davis cross routes and their skinny post can open up a little better.
John
Like it.
Josh, 28-14. Mario, 28-14.
Nice. Okay.
Josh is saying Trey gets it. I would
Oh,
love that.
that'd be bittersweet.
That's what I was waiting for on Thanksgiving. I was like, man, if he gets a pick six, if you get just a pick on Thanksgiving Day, but a pick six, dude, and be like, here I am. Like, I'm back. I'm better than
Back.
ever.
Like it.
Let's go. But, all right. Now, kiddies, just in case you didn't know, we do pick'ems on this show. And in case you didn't know, you should go to FanDuel right now.
You're winning at a 70% rate right now, Swank, just so you
All of
know.
my picks. I know, dude. I can't believe it. I've never done this before, ever in my life. 45-19 I am currently. Scott's 38-26. And Jarrod, over 500, 33-31.
There you go.
Man, yeah, these are like the best picks I've ever had in my life. So they'll probably all tank this week, and it'll be great. Let me pull up the schedule here. You guys play along, let us know who you think is going to win this week. Schedule, bang.
Bang, bang. Bills versus Patriots. We both got Bills.
Yep.
Jets are playing the Vikings. 1 o'clock game at Minnesota. Swank, you go first, friend.
I'm going to go Minnesota on this one. And it'll serve a dual purpose. It'll give me a win, and it'll put the Jets down a couple game there. That'll be good.
Nice. I'm with you.
All right. That was an exciting one.
Yep.
John's Vikes. Josh Cook Vikes. Chris Christian Vikes.
They agree.
Mike
Smart
V,
people.
Vikes. Hell yeah. All right.
Now this is a game that could be big time help. Is that Dolphins team playing a stout defense? 49ers are winning games just because their defense is being so damn good.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'll go first.
Jimmy G's doing his thing. Christian McCaffrey's looking great. I don't know. Go ahead, no.
Niners. Do it. Help us out.
Got to do Niners, dude. Got to go Niners. Jarrod, are you going to pick the fish just to try and catch up here, buddy, or what?
You got to go opposite, right?
Got to go opposite.
So there's those games. So there's a division. Very easily could happen. We take over the division this week. That would be. We got to start with our own though. Got to start with our own game.
Yep.
But I tell you what, playing a Thursday night game is the Dolphins are gonna know exactly what happened and exactly what they have to do. So sometimes that can get in your head.
That is true. I'm just looking up. Yes.
Toilet?
This is what I want. No. What we're going to do, we cannot not do Chiefs at Bengals. We have to do that one, right? It has so many implications for us.
You want to do the Watson reunion game against the Texans?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. You know who I'm going to pick, bastard.
Yeah. No, we could do another one. So what game? The Bengals versus Chiefs. It's at the Bengals. It's a 4 o'clock game.
I'm going Bengals. I'll say it. I'm going Bengals. I believe.
I'm with you.
Oh man,
even without Mixon
separation. Yeah, without Mixon was no fact. Like, I mean, he's a great player, but this last week, man, that kid came in and I don't think Mixon was missed at all.
Kareem, yeah. He's a good running back. He catches the ball out of the backfield like a crazy guy.
Mm-hmm.
But help us out, Cincinnati. You've done it before in the past, if the Bills fans remember correctly. Let's do it. Come on, beat them Chiefs.
So I'm getting mixed results here. I'm trying to figure out what is Josh Allen's record in primetime?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm at StatMuse, and they're throwing me some garbage. 47-25, like, nah. That might be overall. Anyway, all right. So we're doing Browns at Texans because you want to try and get a game up on me. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna pick the Texans, but Watson looked horrible when he came in and played preseason game, and he's missed a lot of time. So this could be a game where the Texans thrive.
I
No,
mean, everybody's a Texan fan this weekend.
yeah, I will be too. I can't find any reason to root for the Browns. I really can't. Trash organization. So that was,
Well,
walked
I'm
into
gonna
that one.
listen, man. I gotta go Cleveland. Losing. We're going Texans.
There you go. There you go. Texans, Texans. All right.
Joey Hatch. Josh usually shows up primetime. Yeah, I know. I think he's got a really good primetime record. I just can't believe I can't find it right off the top of my head right now. Rob says Allen is 0-3 in primetime games. That can't be right.
Primetime game, Dale's game. What time was that? Thanksgiving last year.
I mean, is that considered primetime? I guess maybe I don't know the definition of primetime.
Primetime is Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday
What
night
about
football.
the Rams game? The Rams game wasn't primetime?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, they won that. You know what I
The
mean?
the Green Bay game was a Monday night football game.
Yeah, they won that.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Or no. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. They won. No.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
So,
yeah.
anyways.
So, yeah. I don't know. Mario, I like Shaq Lawson's comment today. The worst thing I did in my life was sign with the Dolphins.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. Hey, man, you have to learn
Rob Mullen
sometimes.
says, StatMuse says 0-3. That's where I went, Rob. And primetime is night games. Like I said, man, that Thursday night, the opener, that was a Thursday night game.
Yep.
You know, so at least should be 1-3. Right?
They beat the Titans a Monday night football game.
Monday Night Football next week, 2-3.
Interesting.
Green Bay, 3-3. Like, yeah, I don't know. Can't be right.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Something's messed up. But we'll figure it out. Hey, guys, 9:12. Scott's probably having a kid right now. We need to get out of here.
I just got a text.
We appreciate all of you guys so much. Congratulations again to Keely for winning that salute to service Josh Allen jersey. I'm sure Scott will have that right out to you. No problem.
Yep.
No time.
Yep.
No
She already
time
sent
at all.
her address, so it'll be out tomorrow, Keely.
Oh, hell yeah. So we love you guys very much. Final thought, Scott. Go ahead, buddy.
Enjoy it. It's an AFC East game. We haven't won yet this year. It's time we right that ship. Enjoy the process, guys. It is a long week. You'll see Rob, not Rob Mullen, but Frank Mullen. He showed us today during our messenger that a little app that shows you playoff situations and all that stuff. It may be a little early. In my mind, it isn't. Go to the playoff app that they provide. I can't remember if it's NFL.com, CBS, or what, but you could pick who wins games and what situations we'd be in and what slot we would be in. And it's fun. It's fun. You'll see us play a lot with that come the last 4 weeks. We tend to do who to root for. But right now, just root for your Bills. We still have a lot of games to play. It is week by week. We have a 10-day break after this one. So enjoy it. Drink responsibly. For those that are at the game, it's at Patriots. Cheer loud for us, for those that can't be there. And again, salute to service. We got that jersey going out. Thank you for those who served, who are serving, and who have dedicated their life and sacrificed their life for the freedoms that we have. Thank you. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Nicely done, dude. I got this guy up here, Paul Rossi. Good luck and best wishes to Scott and his wife. Absolutely,
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you.
I can't wait for a little Justin Reed to be born. That's gonna be great.
Little Justin.
Swank Reed.
Swank. Little Swank. Daniel Scott if it's a boy. Maeve. If it's
Daniel
a girl.
Scott if it's a girl.
Danielle or Daniel. Yep.
What's the girl's name? I'm sorry.
Maeve.
Maeve. Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yep.
Guys.
And if it's born Thursday, it's gonna be Jim Kelly.
I like it. Or Jamie Kelly.
There you go.
Yeah. Or Jill Kelly, right?
You can do that.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget, you can hang out with us every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the K-Gun Report right here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or Twitter or wherever you're watching this. You can listen to the audio the next day, actually probably by midnight of the night of, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Odyssey. And, enjoy this game. Let's pop that bag of milk, huh? That's what I'm feeling. Hey, Mac Jones.
Keep your eye out. We may or may not. We haven't talked about it yet. Do a pregame show, so Swank, we got to talk about
Yeah,
that.
we've been talking. I don't know. You know, I'm waiting for you. I'm figuring that Swank Reed's gonna be born. So.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. Oh, good call. I did think about that.
Yo, go Bills.
Go Bills!
Go Bills.
This is a dangerous group.